The following video was produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau because agriculture matters. In Virginia, honeybees are vital for pollinating the state's apple and peach crops in the spring and all types of vegetables in the summer and fall. In all, they're responsible for pollinating $80 million worth of Virginia crops each year.
Pollination is critical. If I have no bees, I have no crops. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
But King George County vegetable grower Craig DeBernard, who rents bees from a local beekeeper, says he got a nasty surprise this spring. Half of the hives had died after a February cold snap, many from a mysterious new problem called colony collapse disorder. State apiarist Keith Tigner says CCD is a national problem. For some reason, adult worker bees abandon the hive, and experts don't know why or where they go.
Without the worker population, the queen cannot survive. She relies on them for food, for care, for maintenance of the hive, for taking care of the larvae, feeding them and keeping them warm. And so without that worker population, the larvae die, eventually the queen dies.
Tigner says the state's bee population has been under severe stress for years. Tiny insects called mites have been attacking hives, and bees have been losing habitat and food sources to development. But bee experts are stumped by CCD. They don't know whether it's a combination of the previous stress factors, a new disease, or both. And it's apparently very powerful.
What we're seeing with the CCD is that the bees and the other hives that are nearby, if they are able to make it into the hive, they're not going in. They're not robbing out the honey. They're avoiding that hive.
Tigner says beekeepers are trying to compensate this year by splitting their surviving hives and purchasing bees. For instance, this entire field is being pollinated by only one hive when it used to have 3. But while DeBernard says he's doing okay, pollination rates are bound to be down.
I think we dodged a bullet. Hopefully we'll have good crops the rest of the season.
In 1980, Virginia had approximately 98,000 beehives. Tigner says that number has dropped to about 30,000 hives. And beekeepers across the state report losing 40% of their hives to mites and CCD last winter. With such severe losses, Tigner says one of his roles is to encourage more people to consider becoming beekeepers.
With the honeybees, you've got 60,000, 80,000 bees inside of a hive that's got a 2-foot square footprint. So you've got a massive farm right there in your backyard that you can operate, that you can watch grow throughout the year, participate in their management, participate in their production.
For now, the state-sponsored Virginia Pollinator website has lists of growers who need bees and beekeepers who are willing to rent them. Meanwhile, researchers at the U.S. Department of Agriculture and other agriculture experiment stations are doing their best to unravel the mystery of CCD, because for growers like DeBernard and millions of other farmers, there's no backup plan.